Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones, aka Daniel Kuhn, back with a new video. This is me sharing my thoughts on the aftermath of the shooting at the high school in Florida. First off, I want to say, my condolences to those who are affected by that horrible event. Um, you know, it's a sad state of affairs that that this kind of stuff happens. But I'm not naive to the fact that there are violent individuals in this world. We always have to be mindful of that. Second, the murderer will not get airtime. I will not say his name in this video. That's my policy on my channel. I don't give these guys any more notoriety because they seem to be wanting the fame for the horrific acts, and they won't get it from this. They won't get it on my channel. Um, Third, to anyone who thinks that this is your enemy, this is not your enemy. This is a neutral party in all of this. I would say that it behooves you to understand that people have been mass murdering other individuals for for the bulk of human history. It's always happened. It's always going to happen. It seems like, and because there are always going to be deranged individuals amongst us. The wrong way to go about handling this is to tie up the hands of honest, decent people who are not an immediate threat to others around them. In fact, they'll be the people who are actually will be on your side, more likely defending you from the danger that's out there if you're unable to do it yourself. Case in point, Stephen Williford and Johnny Langendorf. Their names will get mentioned on my channel because I applaud them for their bravery from what happened in Texas after that coward shot that church. So this is not your enemy. This tool is not your enemy. The individuals who use whatever is within reach, they're the ones you need to look out for. But really, your true enemy are those who want to disarm you, who want to make you weak, because they don't. Something I notice about people who always come out and say that we need to get rid of these. We need to get rid of these guns. We need to get these guns off the street. Can't have people running around with these military style weapons. I think they're authoritarians for one thing, and they see at best they see everyone as a little kid. They see other people who aren't like them as a little kid. A little kid that needs to be spoon fed, that needs to be told fairy tales, that needs to have scissors taken from them because they're afraid of them running around and tripping and impaling themselves. Who can't have toys with small parts because they're afraid they're gonna swallow the part and choke on it. They can't be left around a bucket of water because they're gonna drown themselves. Those type of people are your real enemies because they see you as being infantile, and they see you as someone who needs constant 24/7 monitoring, and they always believe they're the ones who are fit to do that job, when in fact they're the very ones who would leave you defenseless in the face of danger because they don't trust you to use whatever tools are out there to protect yourself and protect other people around you. That's how they see you. They see you as at best they see you as retarded kids. Harsh for me to put it like that, but that's how they see you. When they use terminology like guns in the streets, same as with kids on the streets. When they use terminology, people running around with guns, same as with kids running around with scissors. That's how they see you. They see you as little kids. Um, they see little kids who need a babysitter, or they need a caretaker to be around them 24/7 because they're too stupid to know what's best for them. Sucks. It sucks to have to say that, but that's how they actually view you. That's how they view me. That's how they view other people who think differently from them, and they're quite arrogant. They're quite smug. And if you look hard enough, you don't have to look too hard. You can point these individuals out because they always claim to know what's better, what's best for you, without consulting you about what do you think ought to be done. Um, and I'm doing this video because I'm afraid that these young individuals, now there are these teenagers who scheduled a protest. I think it's in March. I'll include the link in the description box if I can find the article. wanting to do a protest. I think it's gonna be nationwide. There are talks of sit-ins and walkouts to be done by the student body and the faculty and staff to protest, these horrific acts. Um, and first off, you gotta understand that they're hurt, they're angry, they're confused, they're filled with they're on an emotional roller coaster right now, and and trying to make any sound decisions after that, it is very difficult. It's very easy to paint, groups like the NRA, who I particularly don't care for, but that's for different reasons. It's easy to paint them as being your enemy because they seem to be the ones who are blocking progress to help stop these events. When in reality, um, our government itself actually dropped the ball from when the murderer, he posted a comment on a YouTuber's video that he aspired to be a professional school shooter, and that YouTuber reported him, called him a tip to the FBI to let them know, hey, this guy left some weird comments on my channel, left some weird comments on a video I did. They didn't follow up on it. They did nothing with it, which is kind of strange, that the FBI would, that they wouldn't follow up on a tip like that. But they did contact the YouTuber after the fact. If what I'm hearing is correct, they contacted him multiple times after it happened to see if he'd heard anything or knew anything. Well, he gave him the info about the comment the guy left. I guess that wasn't enough. So they dropped the ball. School administrators, because apparently this guy, they knew he was dangerous. He was actually expelled, and didn't think to relay much information to any of the authorities about him to warn them that, hey, this guy is dangerous. So they dropped the ball. Apparently he was staying. His parents had passed. The killer's parents had died some time ago, and the people who he was staying with, they knew he had a gun. They knew that he had a history of issues, and they said they didn't think this would happen. They dropped the ball. If you have someone living in your roof and you don't look out for stuff, you don't look out for things like that. Yeah, it's just slipped past you. I guess I guess it's in the sense incompetence on their part. Like I said, it's tough to say, but that's the information I'm getting as of right now. That's how it appears to me. These young individuals, these teenagers, are going to be taken advantage of. I can see it happening. They're going to be taken advantage of by anti-gun politicians who love to come out not even an hour after these events happen to call for more gun control. They're authoritarians. They're going to be taken advantage of by the special interest groups, also filled with authoritarians, who will love nothing better than to use this tragedy to push well, as the saying goes, never let a good tragedy go to waste. That's what they're going to do with these kids. And I don't know if I should call them kids. They're teenagers. They're going to be adults, but I don't think no one's pulled them aside and told them, say, listen, you need to stop and think about who you're going to for help, because it's the same as when any other tragedy happens. These groups, these anti-gun groups, always want to come out and use their tragedy to forward their campaign. Whether it been what happened at Sandy Hook, whether what happened in Columbine, whether any tragic event that happened, aside from not wanting to take note of what happened in Texas when you had the two individuals. You had the one individual, Steve Williford, actually go out with his own AR-15 and confront the murderer who was at the scene of the crime. No one wants to bring him up because he stands in the way of their narrative of keeping these kids from having access to weapons. They're gonna take advantage of these teenagers, and that's tragic. That's the real tragedy. They're gonna parade them in front of the camera. They're gonna use their energy to feed off of to fund their sick little campaign of making people weak before them, because they don't care too much about people getting killed by trucks. They don't care so much about people getting stabbed to death. They don't care about that. All they care about is people having access to a tool that they don't like because because either it scares them or it stands in the way of whatever plans they have for the American public. And that's very tragic in itself. Um, any teenagers who are upset, who are afraid of what's going to happen down the road, listen. The best thing you can do is arm yourself with information, so that you can better look out for who is actually on your side, who actually cares about your safety, who actually cares about your well-being. I can tell you right now, a lot of people, there are many people out there like myself. I'm pretty sure many of your own teachers who would do whatever they have to do to keep you safe. Um, and one thing you don't want to do is support any measure that would tie up the hands of good people in the face of deranged individuals in our society. Um, and funny thing is, the deranged, a lot of deranged individuals aren't using this. They're not using this to harm you. They're using their positions in power to cause harm to many other people. And I hope many of you out there who may be watching this video can see that. Don't let yourself be taken. Don't let yourself be taken advantage of. It's always the ones who would call for a mass change in laws and want to make more laws, who stand to be a greater threat to other people, because they're wanting to use the violence of the state to try to control other people, and that's unfortunate. When really a lot of this stuff can be done with better parenting. They can prevent it through better. They're encouraging people who do have mental illness to seek help, best way they can, and if all that fails, it can all be. This can be remedied. At least not. It can't be. It can't be as more. The bloodshed wouldn't be as bad. Wouldn't be as high if they were met by people. Well, for one thing, these range individuals, they don't go to places where they know that they're gonna fight. They know that they can have someone who's gonna fight back. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's always gonna be. Is always going to be stopped at the door when these people do these horrific acts. But you got to take into account that they never go for they hardly ever go for places where someone's going to fight back. They always go for places that are gun-free zones, which are just easy targets. It's shooting fish in a barrel. That's all those areas are. So, in closing, I just wanted to say that this is another tragic event that happened. But I wanted to wait till some time had gone by before I go ahead and do a video on it. If any young adults, anybody out there who is hurt about this, please find someone, talk to someone about your issues, about your feeling that you're having, and understand that this and the people who own them, by and large, are not your enemies. Those who want to take advantage of your of the negative things that happen to you, they're the ones you look out for. They're the real predators. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got any comments or questions, leave a comment in the comment section or make a video response. If you want to support the channel, just go to my homepage on YouTube and look for the Give Up That Cheese button, where you can make a donation of any size. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I'll see what I can do to address them. But that's my video. Sharing my thoughts on the tragic event of the shooting that happened in Florida. I'm Edward Jones, aka Daniel Kuhn, and you guys be safe out there.